Hello, everybody. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Rachel.
And this is So I'm Watching Barry, Season 3, Episode 5, Crazy Time Shit Show, all one word.
And it was, I feel like.
Okay. This show's amazing.
So good.
I'm obsessed with this show. Okay, let's do Noho Hank and Esteban and the Bolovians first. Okay. So, Noho Hank and Esteban are the cutest.
I love them so much.
So adorable. I love it. It's so fun. They are basically giving Barry advice at the beginning of the episode about Sally. And they are like, you have to, like, show your true self, like, a little. So that, because he's making a lot of excuses. Because he's like, well, I didn't even yell. I just, did this. And then
I loudly stated something at her.
And he does, an example. And I was like, it was way louder than that. And Noho Hank even goes, sure.
He was like, hey, don't do this or do this. And
he was screaming at her.
Yeah.
So but the Noho Hank reaction was, sure. I'll allow it. Let's move forward, even though we all know you're lying. So they basically are like, you have to show her a little bit of your true self. And he's like, well, I am literally an assassin. I can't do that. And he was like, it's more metaphorical. You just find a different part of your true self, which he somehow takes to mean make the dumbest collage.
Okay. Hey, men. I'm going to talk to you for a real quick sec.
I don't think men are watching us.
I don't care.
About this
Even
show.
if they are. Someone's boyfriend or husband is watching with them. On the off chance you are watching, I need you to cry more.
Yeah.
Just go get in the shower. Water's running. Put your face in there and just get your shoulders in it.
Real deep.
Just get it out. Just really do that.
Watch the opening scene from Up.
There you go.
If you're like a dude, watch the end of Field of Dreams.
Hey.
Something.
We
can do it.
Watch Bing Bong disappear.
Watch Inside Out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just please, for the love of God, we can't do it anymore.
Cry some more. Hug more people.
Yes.
Especially other men.
Yes.
Kiss another boy on the mouth.
There you go. You're not gay.
If you
are, hey.
Who cares? It'll all just, it'll be so much healthier for you.
If you need to, go to one of those shows and just do this for a couple hours,
They have
get it out.
They have those places now where you can go in and deliberately destroy stuff.
Yeah, I want to do that so badly.
Go to an axe throwing place. There's one right up the street from here.
Yeah, I've broken a ton of shit and it feels really good. I used to specifically keep a box of Ticonderoga pencils in my desk at work just to snap it because the rage was going to come out of my eyeballs if I did not. And I'm fine. I'm doing great.
It's great. Yeah. It's awesome. I'm going to get to the rest of what Barry does when we get there.
Yes.
But for the rest of the Noho Hank and the Bolivians,
I think we need to point out the fact that a tenet of their relationship, of Noho Hank and Cristobal's relationship, that he points out is honesty. And Cristobal was like, yeah.
Or Cristobal, I kept saying Esteban. I got flight attendant on the brain too, so.
Yeah, Cristobal was like, yeah, honesty. And it's just
because it's clear now that Hank does not know about
Elena.
Mm-hmm. So we get reintroduced to what was his first name? It was Nguyen was the last name.
Oh, James?
Albert.
Yeah, Albert.
The guy who got shot in the face in Afghanistan with Barry, who he was helping.
His monologue.
Yeah, from the monologue. Yeah. He is cool. He's good to go. He's got a pretty bitchin' scar on his face, and he works for the FBI. And he is there with the LAPD. Then they're going to help find who killed Janice. And they are like, yeah, it's a Chechen assassin called the Raven. And he's like, that's bullshit. And I know that a guy named Barry that I served with was there. So here's what we're going to do. So they go to raid the Chechens at their plant nursery / heroin depot. And at the same time, so do the rest of the Bolivians
with
Elena's orders. It is a shit show. A crazy time shit show. I really, really hope that Akmal is okay.
I know, me too. He has to. I feel like that has to be a running joke.
I love him so much. He just keeps getting shot. I swear he got shot in the arm also.
He might. Who knows? It looked like there was a mark on his leg, like in the thigh. Because I think that would be really funny if he just starts getting hit like everywhere.
See, I think it's funnier that he keeps getting hit in the same spot, like
fair.
over and over and over. So anyway, they take him and he's able to call Hank. And he's like, someone named Elena, you need to run. And so that's when he's like, who's Elena? And Cristobal is like, Eee. And the doors open and more of the Bolivians come in and Hank goes to hide in the pantry.
Yeah.
They take Cristobal away and then Elena comes in and you think she's coming right at Hank, but it's because there's a picture of Hank and Cristobal like sitting in the frame of another hanging little painting.
I know. My heart is broken.
I know. And then like Hank sees the picture because she turns around. Hank sees the picture and he gets this like beautiful little look on his face. I'm obsessed. It's so cute. I love them so much.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's interesting that Elena is like seems like heartbroken because she cries like big time seeing the picture.
I mean, they have kids and everything.
Yeah,
but I don't know. It sort of seems like her dad sold her to, or that Cristobal bought her at least. You know what I mean?
Or it just seemed very just at like the business aspect of marriage.
Well,
Yay.
She is also smoking hot.
Yeah,
so
she'll be all right.
She'll be fine. In other news, Sally and Natalie wake up having a great day. Joplin is on the front page of Rotten Tomatoes, or the
Banshee.
So
it's like
a streaming service
type of thing?
Yeah,
okay.
I think so.
But is it like ladies only? I was assuming since it was like the she was capitalized. Yeah,
I feel like
that's I don't like that.
So they basically are like on cloud 9 and then they're like, let's go out and like capitalize on this. They still have a 98 on Rotten Tomatoes. They're super pumped. So they go to a coffee house. No one is recognizing Sally. So they go to the website again and it's something called, God, what was it called?
New Medusas.
New Medusa.
With 3 women with snakes for hair.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so they decide to go have a meeting with Elizabeth Perkins and her assistant, who is also hilarious. I don't think she's on the front page of this.
I don't think she is either.
Her assistant's so funny. And she's like, what's going on? They are canceling Joplin because even though it released the night before, it's not doing well in the algorithm, but there was something.
The tastemakers.
It's not pods or something.
No, it was like not hitting the right tastemakers.
No, it was a dumber word than that. It was taste, but it was like taste pods or something. It was like not makers. I swear it was like I think it's fake. I don't think it's real.
I know, but I would just want to see if it's like a thing.
Regardless, it in like the 12 hours and they have all this like weird anecdotal evidence of like if somebody finishes eating a dessert by episode 1, then it's like likely to go all season or something like that.
Yeah, or I think it was like if they're eating a dessert in the first 2 minutes of the show, the person is likely to binge the entire show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So weird. So Sally naturally loses her shit. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty amazing. And her agent is trying to be like, okay, but like, no.
Well, and I love that Elizabeth Perkins was like, if only I could call someone to ask them not to do that.
Yeah.
But I can't because that person's me.
It's so dumb.
It's so stupid. And it kind of hurt my feelings because it just, you know that there have been meetings like this.
It just feels so exactly Hollywood. And it's the type of thing that I feel like, yes, if we were getting those behind the scenes things with Alec Berg and Bill Hader, they would be like, yeah, like this, I like was in a room like this, essentially.
I wonder if that's why they aren't doing the talking heads at the end, because it's just them being like, yeah, that's what Hollywood is exactly like that.
This 100% happened. Regardless, yeah, she's super duper pissed. And so then somewhere in there, we've got Fuchs trying to talk to like a motocross girl.
The Marine who, remember the hot tub Marine? The one that like kept showing up and I don't remember his, I want to say Vince. Yeah. I don't think that's the right name.
No, I remember.
But so it was his sister.
Okay.
And so Fuchs was trying to do the same thing that he's been doing.
And she literally does not care until Fuchs says Barry owes $1,700 for a hot tub or something.
For half of the hot tub. It's like, oh my God. I'm so tired of Fuchs.
So then she cares again. That's basically it. before we get to the Sally and Barry thing at the end, which was my favorite part of the episode, we're gonna go to Gene. Joe Mantegna is back, and he's invited Gene to dinner with a couple, and then Annie Eisner, played by Laura San Giacomo, who is amazing. I love her so much. Like, since I saw Pretty Woman when I was too young to see Pretty Woman. And my mom would make me leave the room during the piano sex scene.
Oh, it's so good, though.
It's so good, because she's wearing that amazing nightgown. Anyway, it's amazing. He basically, he's also on, like, an apology tour. He's apologized to the guy who he threw tea in his face. And
the guy looked like he was gonna cry.
He did. The two of them, because one of them's the director and one of them is the producer, and they both were like, "It's just really great to like see a second chance. Like, you got your new pages, everything's good." And he's like, "I really am thankful from the bottom of my heart." He seems sincere to me.
I agree with you. Yeah. I think that Joe Mantegna is like correct in breaking his.
I agree.
What is it called? The order?
Restraining.
Thank you.
We both were like,
I'm glad that he broke it, because I do think that Gene is legit.
I think after this step with Barry, I think he is sincerely recalibrating and being like, none of this is worth it if I don't have my family and they're dead or I'm dead or like all of this. So, like, I may as well make amends where I can.
Well, and I think, too, like, losing Janice, I mean, he is, like, in the throes of grief. Yeah. And so it's like, why be an asshole for no reason? Like, 100%. I mean, I had the greatest thing and it cost me. Yeah. So, you know, I believe it.
I believe it, too. And so, basically, while they're at dinner, he's like, before we finish, I have to just like really, you know, say thank you to you, Joe. And like, I'm sorry for like all the stuff that I did to you, which was apparently like bad mouthing him around town and telling lies about him and stuff. And then Annie is basically like, well, okay, I guess. And he's like, well, no, I like should really apologize to you too. And he does. And he's like, I'm so sorry, like all of this. And she's like, well, you still ruined my career. And she does not accept his apology, which I kind of think is awesome. And apparently they dated. Mm-hmm. So she basically...
That's what I thought. I was like, this is either an ex-wife or an ex-girlfriend.
It seems girlfriend only. But she just basically was like, hey, all the sorries in the world don't bring back my career. So, no. And then she's like, bye, Joe. Yeah, which I think... leaves. Love it.
I just think think it's fair, you know?
It's super fair. And I do love that, like... I like that Gene is still trying, though. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, he's still trying. He also is using the sack full of money to buy Leo and Gordon, I guess is the grandson's name. I had no idea until this episode.
I don't know.
To buy them this pretty bitchin' house. Mm-hmm. Looks amazing.
Well, and it was for rent. And I actually kind of like the fact that, like, yeah, we'll just rent it, you know, rather than just, like, flat out buy it. Sure. So at least he's, like, being a little bit smarter with that sack of
illegal money. Yeah. And then I guess there's like Annabeth Gish and her son are still floating around the background trying to potentially kill Barry.
I don't like that storyline at all.
I don't like it
especially with how it ended today.
Annabeth Gish shot her son accidentally in the chest.
Okay, so fellas, I want to talk to you again. So if you have a weapon on your person, please keep the safety on, and also don't ever point it at someone.
Don't go waving it around.
Yeah, the gun always needs to be pointed down, never up, because you still see some people holding the butt with it pointed up. No.
Down.
Point down.
Point down.
Ground. Okay.
So,
notes from Hunter Safety Course.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I've held a gun twice in my life. So ridiculous.
Yeah.
So anyway, they are maybe still doing that. I don't know. Barry like he like talked to the son because he was like trying to get into, because this is also, they're taking out Sally's apartment, which he is still not welcome at.
Was it Sally's apartment or was it the dude's apartment?
No, it was when he had the sacks full of stuff he bought for the collage.
Oh, yeah.
He was going back to Sally's apartment.
Also, that was way too much stuff for what ended up on
happened.
The page.
Yeah.
I was expecting glitter, some yarn.
Me too.
A mosaic of some kind.
Yeah. So, like, the son helped him with the door, and then he just sort of froze and didn't know what to do. So, and they don't have a clear plan, which is very frustrating. So I'm just like, what are you doing?
I know.
So, okay, back to Barry and Sally. I think that was everything else, right? Oh, well, Barry tried to move back in with the other acting school dudes, and they have turned his room into like an audition room, which is just ridiculous and horrible.
I hate LA
so there's
so much.
nowhere for him to sleep. So he still has nowhere to sleep. So, okay. He goes back to Sally's with these sacks full of stuff because he gets like a brainwave at the store in front of all the craft supplies. And he's planning to just leave it, to like leave the note and the collage and the keys, which is a little bit weird, I guess. If he's trying to like reopen a dialogue, it's a little weird to like leave this stuff.
Yeah, but that's the easy way out. It's the coward way out.
I mean, it ends up not working anyway because Sally comes home sooner than he thinks she's going to, crying, and he tries to comfort her. He's doing okay at first because she's upset about the show. And he's like, that really sucks. You worked so hard. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, that's awful. And he's like, do you have any idea where she lives? About Elizabeth Perkins' character, Diane Villa. And she says, no, why? Are you going to like write her a nasty letter? And he was like, no, nothing like that. And then he tries to show his true self to her. And I'm obsessed with it because it's like, it's so disturbed, but it's also so cute what he's trying to do. It's like adorable. Because when she asks, are you going to write her a nasty letter? He's like, no. And he was like, maybe I'll just scare her a little. And you're already like, uh-oh. But then he just keeps going about like, man, I'll send her a picture of her sleeping. And she'll know like that what I did to Sally was bad. And then he again just keeps going and he's like, I'll, like rearrange her furniture around so that she thinks she's shrunk or something. What was the other? There was one that was really bad.
I will replace her dog with a slightly different dog.
A slightly different dog. That was the one that I was like.
It made me think of Moon Knight with the fucking fish.
The goldfish, yeah.
Did that ever pay off, by the way?
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stopped watching,
So it's increasingly crazy things about basically how he's gonna like Amelie this woman, like make it so that everything in her house is a little bit wrong. And he's like, and then basically by the end of it, her brain will just have eaten itself.
Because everything I learned in the army.
Yeah, so some of the things that I learned in the army, and also a couple that I learned on a subreddit, which is the most terrifying sentence you could hear.
Listen, I don't get on Reddit. That is the Wild West. I could do Tumblr 10 ways over before I could even think about Reddit.
So, as this is happening, and he's delivering it with, like, so sweetly, and so, like, this is what I can do for you. Like, I can help, and this is how. And Sally finally, the like, increasing horror on her face. And I'm obsessed.
I think it's, okay, so I have said things not that specific, but I have been like, oh, do you want me to go do this to this person? And like, I'm
never gonna follow through.
No. But like, I have said things like that to like make the person laugh when they're upset.
Sure, yeah.
But I think the difference is Sally has witnessed Barry being violent, and so she was like, no, this kind of checks. Yeah. I don't think this is funny.
And I think my favorite part about it is that he doesn't realize how close he got to getting back in there.
Yep.
If he just hadn't started in on what he was going to do to Diane, it would have been fine. Because then she just basically is like, Barry, you need to get the fuck out of my house, like, right now. Like, this is horrible. And he's, again, very irritated. He's like, are you fucking serious? Like, because he tried so hard. I love it.
That mirrored or like put up against, his collage with on the note that says, P.S. This is what I'm about, arrow. Like and there's like explosions
and something
like
that
a
says
pink
like
donut.
Ohio State and like a box of Wheaties. And I'm just like, who are you even pretending to be?
Yeah, I don't, he doesn't know.
It's so funny to me. I don't know where he's going to sleep unless like Hank lets him crash and they like try to save Cristobal, but
he could sleep on the floor in the studio. Ugh. He's got a bedroll. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has slept in worse places.
Sure. Regardless, I'm obsessed.
Me too.
This show's so hilarious. I cannot wait for the next episode.
I know. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Basically, that was it. It was a really good episode. I cannot get over that scene with him and Sally.
I know.
It was too good.
Too good. You're so talented. I know we say it every single episode.
Every week. Because also he was doing something at the beginning when he was listening to Hank and Cristobal. They said something sort of insipid to him, and he just was like this, but the way he was like making a face and wrinkling his forehead with his fingers at the same time was so hilarious. Oh, I love him so much. All right. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.